The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) announced today that only 28.8 billion naira was allocated to students across various tertiary institutions, despite 100 billion naira being released to these schools by the federal government. The Anti-Corruption Agency indicated that preliminary investigations revealed that at least 71.2 billion naira had been misappropriated by the management of several universities responsible for handling these funds. The Commission spokesperson Demola Bakare informed reporters in Abuja that key stakeholders, including the Director General of the Budget Office and the Accountant General of the Federation, have been summoned over the development. Bakare further mentioned that senior officials from the Central Bank of Nigeria, along with the Chief Executive Officer and Executive Director of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, (NEL Fund), have also been invited to provide necessary documentation and clarifications pertinent to the case. According to Daily Trust, the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Lanre Issa Onilu, raised concerns 2 weeks ago regarding attempts by universities to undermine the Tinubu administration's student loan initiative. Issa Onilu claimed that at least 51 tertiary institutions were involved in unlawful deductions and exploitation associated with the NEL Fund scheme, urging anti-corruption agencies to investigate and put an end to the fraudulent activities. Additionally, media reports have suggested that these institutions made unauthorized deductions ranging from 3,500 naira to 30,000 naira from each student fees collected through the loan fund. In an update on the situation, the ICPC spokesperson stated that the Commission has taken action following the alarm raised, emphasizing that those found guilty will face consequences. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA) has faulted governors who have yet to pay the 70,000 naira minimum wage passed into law. The NBA's president, Afam Osigwe, said Nigerian workers are struggling with severe hardship while contributing to the nation's development. In his Workers' Day message today, Osigwe stated that political leaders must prioritize the welfare and protection of Nigerian workers. He decried the hardship Nigerian workers face every day in their service to the nation. He noted that celebrating workers should include addressing the challenges they face at the workplace and poor welfare. NBA further urged private employers to prioritize the well-being of their staff. He assured the NBA's commitment to advocating for Nigerian workers' rights and better welfare. According to him, he says, this day particularly is to honor the resilience, hard work and sacrifice of Nigerian workers who remain the unsung heroes of our national development and nation building. We celebrate the vital role workers play in sectors of our national life. Their dedication sustains our economy, institutions and daily lives. Beyond celebration, today presents an opportunity for sober reflection. Far too many Nigerian workers still face harsh economic realities, unsafe working conditions, job insecurity, and pay that falls far short of the rising cost of living. Meanwhile, going on to Edo State, the governor there, Monday Okpebholo, has commended the state's workforce for their dedication to duty and sacrifices. Governor Okpebholo said the Nigerian workers' hard work, resilience, and invaluable contributions were the pillars of the society. In his Workers' Day message today, Governor Okpebholo commended the leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress for their relentless advocacy for justice and workers' welfare. He highlighted that his administration has prioritized creating safe and conducive work environments to enhance productivity and well-being, ensuring that workers receive their dues promptly, investing in programs to equip the workforce with skills for the 21st century economy, and fostering a harmonious relationship between the government, employers, and labor unions. Meanwhile, the impacted cryptocurrency trading platform Crypto Bridge Exchange has resumed operations even as investigations continue into the alleged 1.2 trillion naira digital fraud and that affected over 600,000 Nigerians. Traders on the platform confirmed to correspondents on Wednesday that CBEX has quietly reactivated its services, allowing new users to register, trade and withdraw, while previous investors remain unable to access their wiped accounts pending the conclusion conclusion of an external audit by UK-based insurance firm. CBEX's decision to reopen comes barely weeks after the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) declared it illegal, while the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission confirmed an active investigation into its activities. The firm, which promised 100% returns within 30 days via AI-powered trading, collapsed on April 14, 2025. It has secured registration with Nigeria's Corporate Affairs Commission on September 25, 2024, and was listed under the EFCC Special Control Unit against money laundering as of January 16, 2025. Meanwhile, the presidency has wrongly claimed that under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, Nigeria is the fourth fastest growing economy in the world, trailing only Saudi Arabia, China, and India. According to the presidency, this development is based on economic projections released by the International Monetary Fund on its World Economic Outlook. Now, as defined by the International Monetary Fund, the GDP is important because it gives information about the size of the economy and how an economy is performing. The growth rate of real GDP is often used as an indicator of the general health of the economy. In broad terms, an increase in real GDP is interpreted as a sign that the economy is doing well. Very well, Sunday Diary, the special advisor on media and public communications to the president, disclosed via his claim. According to him, he wrote, Nigeria takes the lead in Africa with economic growth as President Tinubu's reforms policies abate the headwinds that confronted Nigeria's economy 2 years ago. According to him, he wrote further that Nigeria's economy is ranked among the 5 top growing economies in the world. Nigeria, with its 230 million population, vast resources, and a president with clear vision, can punch above its weight again. The social media aide to President Tinubu, Dada Olusegun, also shared an image claiming that Nigeria is the 4th highest in terms of growth production. Findings show that the countries listed below have higher growth projections. According to the latest IMF data, Nigeria's growth projection, which is its real GDP, stands at just 3%. This aligns with the data cited by the Nigerian government, which validates that the presidency is indeed referencing real GDP. However, Nigeria is not the 4th fast-growing economy in the world. Based on the IMF data, the presidency claims to reference Nigeria ranks 37th among countries by growth projections. Countries with higher growth projections include China with 4.7%, India 6.2%, Indonesia 4.7%, Vietnam 5.2%, Malaysia 4.1%, Philippines 5.5%, Argentina 5.5%. Nigeria, amongst this list, does not stand even up to top 10. In Africa alone, Algeria, Egypt, Morocco, Mauritania, Kenya, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Cameroon, Senegal, Zambia, Ethiopia, Tanzania, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Uganda, Mali, Burkina Faso have higher growth projections than Nigeria. Meanwhile, there is an upset within Lagos APC GAC over Seyi Tinubu's political ambition. Reports indications that there are tensions escalating within the Lagos State chapter of the All Progressives Congress as its prominent governance advisory council regarding the rumored gubernatorial aspirations of Seyi Tinubu, the son of the president. At the age of 39, Seyi Tinubu is being considered by various youth and diaspora organizations as a prime candidate to govern Lagos State. Seyi Tinubu's endorsements from the coalition of Nigerian youth leaders, the Future Platform, and several Nigerian communities abroad have fueled speculation about his potential candidacy in the upcoming gubernatorial race. Although he has not yet made any official statement or announcement, speculations are rife that efforts to promote his candidacy are already underway. Should the incumbent president's son become the governor of Lagos State in 2027, Seyi would break the record as the youngest individual to lead the state since its establishment in 1967, a title currently held by Babatunde Fashola, who assumed office at the age of 43 in 2007. However, this development has not been universally welcomed, placing the party and its leadership in a challenging situation. The GAC, a political body consisting of 30 members, which is quite powerful, and established by President Tinubu during his governorship in 1999, is reportedly experiencing divisions regarding the possibility of Seyi becoming the APC's gubernatorial candidate. The group, led by Prince Tajuddin Ulusi, includes former governors, deputy governors, speakers, current and former senators, as well as respected elder statesmen and women. Since Tinubu left his position as governor in 2007, the GAC has functioned as the influential force behind Lagos's political landscape, frequently determining allocations institutions within the state's framework. It played a crucial role in the rise of former Governor Babatunde Fashola and Akinwumi Ambode, as well as the current Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. However, the potential candidacy of Seyi Tinubu has sparked discussions regarding political dynasties, meritocracy, and the future direction of the party in this vital state. Meanwhile, amid resignation rumors, speculations are rife over an alleged rift between the Niger State Governor Mohammed Umaru Bago and his deputy Comrade Yakubu Garba, which deepened today following the deputy governor's absence at the 2025 Workers' Day celebration in Mina. Garba, the immediate past chairman of the Niger Labour Congress in Niger State, has consistently attended Workers' Day events since assuming office as deputy governor. However, his conspicuous absence at this year's event has further ignited rumors of a growing division between the two top officials. Unlike previous celebrations where Garba played an active role, he was missing at this year's event held at the Trade Fair Complex in Mina. Governor Bago, however, was in attendance alongside Senator Sani Musa, who represents Niger East Senatorial District. While some sources suggested that Garba was out of town on official duties, others claimed he may have deliberately stayed away to avoid further escalating the already tense political atmosphere in the state. In a very recent development, however, the governor of Anambra State, Chukwuma Soludo, has confirmed that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will visit the state on May 8, 2025, to officially inaugurate a series of key projects completed by his administration. The announcement was made by Governor Soludo during his address to members of the Nigerian Labour Congress at the 2025 Workers' Day celebration in Awka today. Soludo revealed that the visit would showcase several important projects, including the Solution Fund City, Anambra Country Club, New Government House, New Government Lodge, New Presidential Lodge, and the Emeka Anyuku Center at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International University. Soludo stated that the significance of the president's visit was empathetical and a validation of the developmental strides being made in the state. You're currently listening to the World News right here on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. We'll take a very short break. When we return, we'll head into a news analysis segment where we're being joined right here in the studio with Peter Anosike, who is a political, national, and social affairs commentator. Do kindly stay with us. Mr. Peter Anosike, good evening and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Happy Workers' Day.
I wish Nigerian suffering workers hope.
I knew you were going to say something about that. I'm going to start off with this statement made by the president's media aide, actually disclosing to us that Nigeria is the fourth fastest growing economy, ranks 37th in IMF report. And according to the presidency, that the development is based on economic projections released by the International Monetary Fund. And obviously, Sunday Dare also tweeted to disclose that according to him, Nigeria is taking the lead in Africa with economic growth as President Tinubu's reform policies abate the headwinds that confronted Nigeria's economy 2 years ago. So according to him, it's a clear vision that can punch above the weight gain, meaning that the president's policies is actually working. But Mr. Peter Anosike, let's look at this particular download. In Africa, right? Let's look at the countries that are at the top. Algeria, Egypt, Morocco, Mauritania, Kenya. These are the first 5 countries. Let's go further. Just possibly, maybe Nigeria is still part of the list. Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Cameroon, Senegal, Zambia, Ethiopia, Tanzania, the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC Congo, that is having its own issues, the tension there. They have been fighting war since that we see the pictures looking like as if the children are starving. Okay, Uganda, Mali, that is no longer part of ECOWAS. Mali, that is now a military region. All right, and Burkina Faso as well, that has also removed themselves from being part of ECOWAS, which is the Economic Community of West African States. They have higher projections than Nigeria. Mr. Peter Anosike, you would say that Mali right now, ECOWAS no longer has any partnership with them. You also say the same thing for Burkina Faso, and they have better projections than Nigeria. So where did the presidency come up with that data?
Well, I heard that it was Reno Omokri that broke this news.
And then Sunday Dare reiterated it, reflected it.
That's what I heard, that it was Reno Omokri that. So it is very, very shameful. It is just a government of propaganda, because what these people don't even know, there's a very big difference between growth and development. Understand? There's a very big difference between growth and development. Growth does not impact on the life of the masses. What impacts on the life of the masses is development. Growth is like the maybe an increment in foreign reserve. Understand? An increment in GDP. These are growth, which does not impact in the life of the people. What impacts in the life of the people is development, which is the welfare of the people. So even if Nigeria is number one in growth projection, it does not make any meaning. So IMF puts Nigeria at number 37. I don't even agree.
That is at number 37.
Nigeria should be above 100.
Nigeria should be above 100.
We are in a state of war. Once there's war, there can never be development.
And you're referring to the insecurity that we're experiencing.
Nothing is working in this country. Understand me? So when the government say Q1, Q2, it does not impact on the life of average people. Understand me?
Okay.
What matters is what is the price. That's what is called the fundamentals. Fundamentals are the things that people need. Prices of food, energy, transport, electricity. These are the fundamentals. What the economy. And this is how we judge a government, not by projections.
Interesting.
Understand
it's
me?
Quite funny how they were quick to put that out there, and then eventually, as usual, Nigerians now do their own research, either to confirm or counter whatever it is they release. So we can actually say that Nigerians are very much aware. It's not before that they tell us and then we absorb it without question and accept it as fact.
That's why I'm happy for the social media. Because the legacy media are in the hands of APC. If you call all most of the newspaper houses, most of the TV stations, most of the radio stations are owned by those in power.
But isn't it something shameful to consider that Burkina Faso, Mali, DR Congo, have you seen the recent pictures of how DR Congo is being portrayed?
Congo has been in war since 1964.
And that they have higher projections than Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire.
No, Cote d'Ivoire is bouncing back because they are rejecting France. Understand me?
That's what I'm trying to say. These countries are alienated themselves from foreign powers, foreign decisions, alienated themselves from the economic community of West African states. These countries are standing alone. We were thinking that since they have extricated themselves from the economic community of West African states and decided to form a committee of the Sahel, that possibly there will be a lot of restrictions and limitations to their productivity.
No. Now, let me use a country like Niger. Niger is one of the biggest producers of uranium.
Okay.
And we are selling 2 for a kobo to France.
Okay.
But since they chased the French people away from their country, they are now selling to the international market at the international price. So their economy is now doing better. Then Captain Ibrahim Traore is a wizard. This is an incarnation of Thomas Sankara. Understand me? This is the guy that said prisoners shouldn't stay in the prison and be eating food. They should be used in the farms. So their own prisoners have now been made productive. This is thinking outside the box. Understand me? So when things are happening, you don't need anybody to tell you. You feel it around you.
All right, Mr. Peter Anosike, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu today called on workers to remain patient with his administration regarding their different demands in the face of economic hardship facing the country, saying that the situation is not just isolated to Nigeria, but that it's a global phenomenon. This is just as the leaderships of both the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress asked the president for the upward review of retirement age for all categories of civil servants. So the president made this statement at the Eagle Square, Abuja. This was the venue of the 2025 May Day activity with the theme reclaiming the civic space in the midst midst of economic hardship. The president, who was represented by the Minister of Labour and Employment, Mohammed Meigari, said he was aware that Nigerians, especially workers, face rising cost of living, hunger, insecurity, and unemployment. So if there is economic hardship, according to him, he said it's not just Nigeria that is experiencing it, it's a global phenomenon. It cuts across all regions and that is testing the resolve of world leaders. Why did Sunday Diary, and according to you said Reno Monkey was one that broke up come up with the data that the policies of the government are actually pushing the economy higher?
There's no cohesion among them. There's no cohesion. They don't think through. Whatever comes, they will act on it. Whatever comes, they will act on it. So if you know that the president is going to deliver such a speech, an endurance speech, why would you now say that your country is number one in the world in terms of
number
there's
4.
no
It's number 4. But Mr. Peter,
there's no cohesion among them.
Scripts, these phrases, these sentences, these words, they have been the same thing.
We have been here since 2015.
No, I'm even speaking of the fact that, let's just say his administration was supposed to do something different from the previous administration. I remember January 1st, I think New Year live broadcast. I remember last year's October 1st broadcast that the president gave to us. These are the same statements he made. We're working on it. Our policies will
He will also make that same statement next year. He will also make that statement next year.
The president is saying that, okay.
Do you know that Argentina was in recession when their current president come on board? Argentina was in recession. The former president messed up their economy. But when he came in, what he did first was he sold all their presidential jets, reduced his cabinet by 50%. Understand me? And within 6 months, their economy bounced back. Understand me? Ghana, which is also captured there, when John Mahama came on board, the first thing that he did was to dissolve 7 ministries. Understand me? They have 30 ministries. He removed 7, now remaining 23. And he said that the purpose is to reduce costs of governance. These are what people are doing. But in our constitution says 36 ministers, 1 from each of the states. But Tinubu have 48 ministers. So you can see where our money is going. This a government of wastefulness, a government of squandermania. So telling hungry man, I know how you are feeling, and we are doing something about it. You are not helping.
No, that phrase has been consistent, Mr. Peter Anosike, and at this point in time, it almost feels like they are insensitive to the current plight of Nigerians. You made this statement in 2023, and with the promise that give me time, we're going to do something about it. With the removal of the fuel subsidy, you said that don't worry, we're going to set up some palliatives. We don't know how long. The palliatives did not even last for 2 or 3 months, right? The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, and Poverty Development, we saw what happened with some funds, even with Sadia Umar and Beta Edu at the time. Right now, we don't even know what's up with next. Then we're also hearing about 100 billion naira set aside for school feeding program. And remember that the ICPC just actually reviewed the corruption and diversion of funds by universities, the institutions that this money they have been sent to. Mr. Peter Anosike, it feels like the deterioration or the corruption is not just what the president has said and done. It is those who are meant to implement and monitor to ensure that these things work. They are also involved in the cesspool of corruption. It's actually quite abhorrent that the ICPC had to come out, for them to have come out to do this. It means that this is a deliberate way of trying to defame the administration of the president. So if the president is trying to do something right, somebody is somewhere doing something else to the detriment of the people. So my question is this: at what point would Nigerians stop, or would they stop giving Nigerians this phrase of, we understand the challenges, it's critical, it demands definite solutions, I am your president, I am poised to address this, it is in this regard my administration is committed to ensure that the policies come to your benefit?
In the Bible, Jesus said, when somebody comes and tells you that I am sick, or I'm hungry, you did not give that person food, you have not helped that person. Understand me?
Okay.
So for me, ICPC want to give the impression that Tinubu means well, but those under him are messing his government up.
Is that what you think?
That's
why
the
they
impression
reveal
that
that
ICPC want to give. But the issue is this: when you are not in charge, you are not in charge. Understand me? When you are not in charge, you are not in charge. So there's no capacity on this government to do the right thing. They don't have the capacity. They don't have the political will. No capacity, no political will. So Nigeria is like Somalia, where anything goes. Everybody is cutting his own share that's of the national cake. Remember what happened there in the Niger Delta? The Warri that's a refinery where there's over 600 something billion, understand, was used in the turnaround maintenance, and it's not operating today. But what they told Nigeria was that Warri refinery is working. Port Harcourt refinery is working.
Meanwhile, they're all moribund.
They're on there,
and all the monies that were sent or possibly diverted to that access.
Diverted. Understand me?
All right, but
many career was just told just go. Understand?
So persons were just feeding off the largest.
No proof. No accountability. And this new person has come to station his own men. Understand? Many career men has chopped. This is our own time to chop.
Mr. Peter Anosike, ICPC making this announcement today. 28.8 billion was allocated to students across various tertiary institutions, despite 100 billion naira being released to these schools by the federal government. Remember this 100 billion naira, if you remember, the president signed it. It's supposed to commence this month of May. The anti-corruption agency indicated that investigations have revealed that 71.2 billion naira has already been misappropriated by the management of several universities responsible for handling these funds. So wait, did the government literally leave these monies to just be handled by the universities without any monitoring team to follow up with it? This is money that has not even gotten to their hands for the project, for the school feeding program, nothing.
Excuse me, I would have believed this report more if names were mentioned. Understand me? Example that Obafemi Awolowo University misappropriated so and so. This is a very good way of setting the students against their vice chancellor, and it would have been more effective. Now that some universities, which universities, none was mentioned. Understand? None was mentioned. So for me, those who are appropriating may also be diverting. Understand me?
Well, anyway, Bakare is saying that senior officials from the CBN, along with the chief executive officer and executive director of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, have also been invited to provide necessary documentation and clarifications pertinent to the case. I'm wondering if the ICPC had not done their investigation. Ideally, were they not supposed to be getting reports on this to the government? It's like you're giving a status report. You've disbursed funds for a project. So on the allocation, implementation, who is in charge of the money, how the money will be utilized, how the money will be shared in tranches, what is the modus operandi for persons to have access to the money. All of this is meant to be written down and presented by each individuals in charge of this money. Each individuals that where this whole process was going to go through. So monies were just released like that, and the procession wasn't adequately accounted for.
Why I know that this is going to be a conduit pipe. As we are sitting down here, we've not known, they've not told how many students that have